What was the brother name?
We
It
live.
was good.
We live. Hey y'all, y'all know, man. I got special guest Elvin here, man. Well, he ain't no special guest, man. Elvin is always Elvin is always here, man. So, man, we got something we're gonna talk about tonight, man. I know a lot of y'all saw some of these little updates that they've been showing of different incidents where Ahmaud Arbery, one was being harassed by the police. If you saw, he was in a park, and the police rolled on him and said, you know, the reason why they rolled on him is because suspicious activity in the area, being very vague and ambiguous. And the brother said, man, I'm just here chilling, man. I'm in my car. I was rapping. You know what I'm saying? And the police still proceeded to question him, you know, try to search the car, even try to tase him. But, you know, you could tell he was real frustrated. And a lot of people try to associate that with being angry. Like, you know, oh man, he was angry or he was aggressive. But people got to understand a lot of times, you know, people can get fed up with a lot of the things that's going on. You know, so the brother was fed up. You know, just imagine you chilling, you know, hanging out at the park. The brother didn't have a firearm on him or nothing. And, you know, he just felt like he was being harassed. You know, the police, yeah, I think I smell weed, you know, using that same old excuse. You think you smell weed.
Always.
All of that.
Always.
So, yeah, always. So, you know, and the thing is, right? So we're going to talk about a couple of topics tonight. And Elvin, if you wanted to share, you can go. You want to go out and share and then come back in.
Yeah. I already got it shared, Bubba. I already started sharing it.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes,
He can
sir.
do two things at one time. So we want to talk about debunking the myth of black on black crime, and we're going to talk about the events, and we're going to talk about some people who have been very, you know, outspoken and disappointing, and we're going to touch on a lot of those. But yeah, give us a little run here, Elvin.
Before that, crazy man. All right, so look, you know, first of all, when it comes down to like definitely with Ahmaud out there in Georgia, you got to understand the narrative of being out there. They're tired of this, man. You know what I'm saying? They're tired of this. They're tired of being harassed. The brother was tired. Hell, we get tired of that down here in Charleston. You know, we fit the description for 17 crimes in 13 counties we ain't never been in, automatically. You know what I'm saying? So you get tired of that. So yeah, you know, of course when you get somebody and they come to you and they're like, you smell weed, you know good and darn well you don't smell weed. You know good and darn well I don't look like so and so. But we're gonna go through this. I had a car one time. I had it hooked up. I had on rims. I had the tent, and I'm telling you, I got 13 tickets that one year, and every ticket I got resulted in a search of the car. Every ticket. I don't care if I got pulled for a seatbelt. Did he mind if he searched the car? It's like, dude, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So we get tired of that BS.
Right.
But you know, back on the mod, man. Like, I'm gonna tell you what. You said something best. The voices that's speaking up, man. And I'm gonna say like this: they released the coons. They released the coons, man. Like it's heartbreaking. First of all, and I don't even remember the brothers you had on your live with you. You know what I'm saying? But I guarantee you, they haven't been to Georgia and talked to them people down there. If they went to Georgia and talked to them people, they wouldn't say the BS they were saying. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't nowhere in the world you're going to say the man wasn't jogging, but you know I've been there, King. You know I've been there. You know I talked to the people who told me this man is an avid jogger. He jogs twice a day, every day. But I saw the coon on your page who spoke out and said that he wasn't a jogger. Man jogged every day. You know what I'm saying? The video, another video came out today and said that the brother, it was like 4-minute chase. But what was I saying the whole time? They didn't chase the man up the property. The man left on his own, and he was continued jogging. And the only way they was able to set the ambush from the man is because he jogs the same route the entire time, every day. They knew where he was going to be. I mean, you know, think about it. If he lives in that neighborhood, everybody need to understand that. He lives in that neighborhood. If he knew that he was being chased, if he knew they was chasing him, he would have ran home. You think he ran around the neighborhood for 4 minutes? You get what I'm saying? He didn't run around the neighborhood for 4 minutes. They ambushed him. They waited for him to come back down that street because they knew his first route. They knew his routine. On the second route, they knew he was coming back. You know what I'm saying? So
let me ask you a question. So what do you think that you can prove with a lot of the videos that are being released of Ahmaud Arbery and his previous arrests? Like, what are they trying to prove?
You know what it is, brother. I don't care if we the hero or we the villain, man. They always gonna pull our criminal background. I can't remember the brother's name. Remember the brother who found the girls who was kidnapped for 7 years? He was the hero. Called the police. Remember? It must have been in Cleveland. The black brother. He was the brother who found the girl, the white girl who was missing for 7 years. She was kidnapped and she was a sex slave for 7 years. I can't remember his name, brother. I cannot. I have to look it up. If somebody in the comments look it up, the brother he saved the girl. I think it was maybe 2 girls. He saved him. They were kidnapped and missing for 7 years, right? He was the hero. The media still pulled his criminal background. They still talked about his criminal background, and he was the hero, King. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what we do. Like, you know what I'm saying? They talking about the man, and they giving the man praise, and they, oh, thank you for being a concerned citizen, and you saved these girls, and blah, blah, blah. And at the end of all that, back in 2001, he was locked up. Like, what the fuck does that got to do with anything?
Man, that's crazy.
So you know how that's going to go, Bubba.
Right. And you know what's really...
But go ahead. No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
I want you to speak on this, right? Because what's really disappointing is I hear a lot of people saying there's no outrage in the black community with black on black crime. Elvin, you know, we've been in the streets for a long time fighting for crime, fighting crime in our communities, talking to residents, you know, even going to vigils, talking to family members. You can't, and one of the things I said the other day on the live stream is, how do you define outrage? Like, what is your outrage? Is outrage? How do you measure outrage? So just because something happens up the street, somebody get killed, how do you measure outrage?
What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do so we don't like it?
Right. So I mean, what is the yardstick by which you measure outrage? Just because something doesn't make the national news doesn't mean people are mad. So it seems like what people are doing is they're only gauging outrage by if CNN picks up on it. So nobody's mad unless CNN picks up on it. Nobody's mad unless Fox News picks up on it. Nobody's mad if MSNBC doesn't get mad. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, you know, the killings that happen in our neighborhoods, if we're mad, the perspective of the coon power structure is we're not outraged because CNN didn't give the microphone to somebody for them to say that we're upset. And that's what really pisses me off a lot of times, because, you know, when people come and say these type of idiotic things and it gets a lot of coverage and it gets a lot of press, people start to believe that that's real, when in all honesty, it's not real. It's an illusion. People in our communities are outraged. You see that people start, you know, crime watch. You have a lot of brothers and sisters who walk their community. I've seen plenty people start foot patrols in the community. So you can't say that we're not outraged because CNN didn't pick it up. What you got to speak on that, bro?
I mean, that's why we started what we do. You know, the whole point of doing what we do is because we Charles Ramsey. There you go. I see my man say that. Thank you. Charles Ramsey. That was his name. You see what I'm saying? But, you know, back to what I was saying, man, that's why we do what we did. That's the whole point of being activists and being leaders and trying to make change in our community, was because of outrage, because we want to see change. You know, but listen, you know what's so funny to me, though? You don't never see it vice versa. And you see me playing with this camera. You don't never see it vice versa, right? It's like white people get killed too. When these white kids are shooting up the schools, why aren't they raising hell in the white communities? You know, you don't hear anybody saying, oh, well, what about white on white crime? Because last year, when all these kids were getting killed in the school, there were those on black kids doing the killing, and there were majority white kids who was being killed. Why was no one screaming, where's the white on white crime there? You see what I'm saying? Right. As a matter of fact, the crazy shit about it is white people were getting killed by other whites, and they were defending gun laws. They didn't want to hear making it hard to get a gun. Make that make sense, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, at the same breath, they had somebody killed by a crazy guy who was able to go buy a gun, but you still wanted it to be easy to go purchase a gun. You didn't want stricter laws on guns. You know, so you get what I'm saying? Like, let's talk about that, or we gonna talk.
Right. And you know. Right. And you know, one of the things that I think we got to do is we got to somehow change the narrative. We got to have something that's built in to where when the coons and the sellouts get the microphone, we got to be able to have some sort of system in place to where we can drown out or at least minimize a negative impact that it has. So we got to have people on the spot ready to go at any time. Anytime misinformation is being spread, we got to have a source, some sort of mouthpiece collectively that we can utilize to stop a lot of the BS and the misinformation. So, that's why we got to support our underground media outlets, because a lot of underground media outlets, we got to be able to have them there in place already so that they can attack as soon as these things happen. Not only attack, but they can also act preemptively before something happens. They can talk about these issues and they can galvanize people and start, having discussions before another incident happens that garners national attention. We can say, you know what, this has already been in the media for a while, but we've been discussing. I think, some of the solutions are being able to actively control our narrative and being able to, I would say, like this type of outreach. We meet new people and we communicate and we form, like the brother said, think tanks to where we can always, have a system in place to where we can strike. I see some blame the whites. And this is the thing, right? Somebody was saying, okay, well, somebody said something about affirmative action is reverse discrimination, right? And I hear people all the time say that affirmative action is reverse discrimination. But see, you got to keep in mind, why was something like affirmative action put in place? Exactly. It wasn't put in place just for the hell of it. Nobody just came and said, you know what, we're going to put a system in place to where white women, because white women benefit from affirmative action also. I'm tired of people just thinking that, black people benefit from affirmative action. White women are beneficiaries of affirmative action. But I'm tired of people just talking about how the affirmative action is some sort of reverse racism, but you're not looking at the root cause. You're not looking at why it was put in place. It was put in place because of a lot of the discriminatory measures that were taken during Jim Crow that were locking out people of color, black people. It was locking us out systemically. So in order for you to remedy the problem, you got to put a system in place to make sure that this doesn't happen moving forward. That's what affirmative action was designed to do. Like Michelle said, it was designed to close the gap. And one of the things that people always say is, oh, well, you're letting all these unqualified people in. No, affirmative action is not for unqualified people. These are for people who are qualified and who meet the criteria. It's a system to where it makes sure that people black people and white women are able to enter into an institution that they were historically locked out of. So people got to start understanding and looking at the root cause of a lot of these things. So
I only,
go ahead, brother.
I only see one comment with a brother. So okay, I see Michelle Melton said, well, she said close the gap. All right, definitely. All right, I see the rest of the comments. People who have a problem with affirmative action generally have a problem with women having any type of power and black people anyway. So you get what I'm saying? Like, they already have a problem with us in a whole anyway. So it's not so much the affirmative action, it's more so much like, look, I don't want to see this black man get into a position. I don't want my boss to be a woman. You get what I'm saying? So they already have a problem with that. They already have a problem answering to a woman as a boss. And they definitely have a problem with a black woman or a black man being put in a position with them. So yeah, they got a problem with that. But that, I generally pay people like that no attention. But I want to say what you were saying about having people in place. That's why the grassroots movement is so big, man. That's why it's so important when we do the grassroots. Like, we got to reach out to grassroots all over in every state and connect. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got a big grassroots movement down there in Georgia. And I was privileged and honored to meet them brothers, man. Like, they was doing work on this. But of course, the media is not going to tell you that. The media is not going to show that. The media didn't show them protesting and marching down there. You know, the only thing, you know, now if they had gone down there and started cutting up and burning the city down, oh, you would have seen that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when I first had it, when I first heard it, I was asking, where is the black leaders in that community? What happened? But you know, somebody sent me the pictures on social media. They didn't show it on the news. They sent it to me on social media. Them brothers was in the street. They was bringing it. You know what I mean? So what I want to do, and like I said, just in my grassroots effort, man, I want to go out there and get the truth. You know what I'm saying? I want to go out there and get the truth. The media is not going around there asking the people in that community what they think of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because if you talk to the black family that I talked to in that family, in that community, they would tell you what it was like living around there, but they would tell you they knew Ahmaud. They told me that Ahmaud jogs that neighborhood every day. You see what I'm saying? They told me that, hey, people go in that house all the time just to look. But Ahmaud jogs that neighborhood every day, twice a day. He was training. You know what I'm saying? So that stuff I got from off the street just talking to the people. No one talked to them.
Right.
So, you know, right. So, you know, that's why I put that out there.
Right. Word.
And what can we do to connect when there is not an injustice? I don't know what Antonio means by that.
Okay, let me, and I'm gonna kind of break that down because I see what angle he's coming from, right? So basically, Antonio, in my mind, what I'm perceiving is that he's saying that, you know, how can we form a bond during the time of peace, right? Because normally it seems like we come together during times of injustice, and during times of peace, there may be possible division or separation. A lot of times, you know, we are at our best when our backs are against the wall. That's when we, you know, we actually see our common enemy, and we're more able to unite when the enemy is more visible and tangible and right in our face, versus during time of peace, or when there's not an injustice right on our face, we're kind of uncertain about who the enemy is and how the enemy looks and where the enemy is at, basically, because they're non-existent in our minds.
Yep.
What I think, Antonio, one of the solutions that I have is mentoring. Mentoring is one of the best ways to connect when there's not an injustice. That means men are raising men, women are taking women. We're taking them on college tours. We're teaching them about, you know, the art of manhood, the science of manhood. We're teaching them how to resolve conflict. The women are teaching, you know, the other women how to basically handle situations without, you know, going to blows. We could talk to them about how we can come together as a community and support each other's businesses. We can talk to them about education. We can talk to them about their future, what type of career path that they want to have. We can try to get them and get them jobs, good jobs, high-paying jobs. We can also teach them the science of entrepreneurship. Men and women who have businesses, pull somebody under your wing, do an apprentice program. You know, have somebody come in your business and shadow you. You know, if you own a barbershop, say, hey, youngster, come on, come shadow me, and I'm going to show you how I built this barbershop. If you got an auto mechanic shop, auto body shop, call a young man and say, hey, look, this is what I do. So there's a way that we can connect when there's not injustice. And the thing is, a lot of this work is already being done.
Done every day.
But the thing is, the media is not highlighting the work that's being done. So we have to make sure that we're supportive of the efforts of grassroots organizations and grassroots leaders who are out there when there's not just an injustice. Because see, Elvin and I, as most of y'all know in the live, we out in the community all the time. So the thing is, you might not hear about Shakem until Shakem is in the middle of an injustice, and you know we're
screaming and banging on something.
Right.
And just to answer and the putting of what you said, he said when there's not a time of injustice, when the hell does he think that is? Because we all, you know what I'm saying? Like when do you think, oh, you think just when it makes the news is injustice? You see, right. You know what I'm saying? When it makes the news, man, we fight the private battles. We fight the injustice in schools. We fighting to get our kids equal education. We fighting to get the same funding that's going to charter and private schools going to public schools. You know what I'm saying? Like these same battles are just started just because they don't make the news. We got plenty of injustices that we fight. Like you said, it's just that you don't see the injustices on CNN, so you don't see it. You know, you don't see the school board meetings we at, the county board meetings. You don't see all of them. That's not on CNN, so you think we're at a time of peace. You see?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so no. It's always something going on. You know, that we'll team up we'll team up with our brothers out there in Walterboro. You know, we'll team up with our brothers and sisters in Georgia when they got a big situation and we want them to know we got their back. But a lot of times what's happening is when stuff is going on, we all tending our own area. You know what I'm saying? They handling in Georgia, they handling in Walterboro. We down here in Charleston, we trying to perfect our own home. If something get bigger, you know that if something get big right now and they call us in Walterboro, they call us, we gone. Like you went to Charlotte. You know, you was in Charlotte. You was in Charlotte for a good while protesting when the cop killed our brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we answer the bell. You call, we come.
Word. Let's see what the brother said. The brother said affirmative action was also a smokescreen that hid the attack on black business and land ownership. While some got jobs, others lost contracts and farms. Black institutions suffered brain drain as the best and the brightest accepted lesser roles for more money in white institutions. Black neighborhoods lost taxpayers and investors as the black middle class fled to the suburbs. I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, right now, let's talk about that. Good point, Baba Amin.
Yeah, I can see that.
Brain drain. So if affirmative action is something that's put into place, and just say Harvard University says, okay, we are forced to take the brightest and the best of blacks coming out of high school, then that hurts some of the historically black colleges and universities who these people could have been in, and they could have had more of a cultural understanding of how life really was and really should have been. So I can definitely see.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
You want to build on that?
No, I agree. Yeah, I can see that. Definitely can see that. It's the same thing in sports. You know, these star athletes, they go into the historically white colleges, they won't go play in a historically black college. You know, so of course those colleges are getting all the recognition, all the news media and stuff, and historical black colleges falling off. I mean,
right. So that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point, and I think that's something that we really need to think about and really start having these discussions because a lot of people say, "Hey, man, we want to end affirmative action." I hear a lot of people saying that for certain reasons why. Me personally, to be honest, like brother Baba Amin said, if you end affirmative action and the white school said, hey, we're not going to take these black students that you have, is that really hurting us? I mean, is it really hurting?
Maybe not now. Yeah, maybe not now.
Well, yeah. I mean, does it really hurt us? Is it really benefit? Would it be a benefit? Hold on. Let's see what this. Oh, hold on. The brother said something. Listen. What I'm specifically referring to is how can all of the black communities connect and do work that gets attention for young blacks to see all the time. It is. Just share. Listen.
Yeah, we're doing it now. We're doing it now. Yeah, like again, that's going on now.
Right. And this is the thing, right?
That's going on right now.
Right. And so what I think that we can do, right? We can have these discussions. We can definitely share people's posts. Start more groups that involve people who want to do things like this. I mean, the work is being done. It's out there. I mean, you just gotta. I'm pretty sure whatever city Antonio is in right now, I can probably Google a mentoring program for young black men in your city.
That's out there. Yep, it's out there. It's doing work. It's doing work.
Right.
It's doing work. You know, again, it's just not getting CNN highlights. It's not getting the news media, so you assume that it's not being done. But there's an organization out there that's doing it.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So, yeah. That's being done now. That's being done. You know.
Right. So this is what Twan said. Twan said, "Let's be real though. A resume with Harvard." Jonathan, what? No, son. So he said, let's be real there. Resume with Harvard compared to SCSU, South Carolina State University, for people who don't know, is going to be different. He will likely be able to make a bigger impact with that Harvard degree. All right, this is where I disagree with that. What do you define impact as? I don't have a degree. Elvin doesn't have a degree.
Nope.
I've been able to make more of an impact in my community than somebody with a Harvard degree. I don't even know where they at. You know, I really don't.
Nope.
So to be honest, I haven't seen anyone with a Harvard degree make that much of an impact in the community that we live in. I haven't seen any black person with a Harvard degree make a big splash in the city of North Charleston. Most of the people that I talk to who are even the one community leaders, people who are very dedicated to helping out in our community, I don't see none of them with a Harvard degree or any Ivy League school. I don't even really see them. Like I saw Eric Watson on here. Eric is making a big splash in the community. Eric didn't go to Harvard. Eric didn't go to no Ivy League school. At least I don't think so. Yeah. Eric is just a young brother right here from North Charleston. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, the most people who put in the grassroots movement, they ain't even, please, they your Trident Techs, your Benedicts, you know what I mean? Your South Carolina State. I mean, they graduating black colleges, black home, and coming back out.
Right. That's what Eric said. He said you have to take responsibility and ownership of your own destiny. It doesn't matter what college you go to. It's how you apply your education. Boom.
Exactly. Yep. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And that's the thing. And I think, and I understand what Tuan is saying, right? Because on paper, if you got a brother with a Harvard degree and you got somebody with a South Carolina State University, depending on where,
assume the Harvard is smarter.
You're going to automatically assume the expectations of Harvard supersede South Carolina State University. But on the other note, it's the way how you apply that particular knowledge and how you do things. How do you perfect your craft? Like Floyd Mather always said, you got to perfect your craft. So it's all about perfecting your craft and being the sharpshooter that you need to be in order to take you on another trajectory that's going to lead you into a whole nother realm of success. Like that's how we got to go. Hold on. The brother said, hold on. He said, no, he can infiltrate at a national level. Stop, Jonathan. Now to say you even need a degree to make a difference. Y'all are proof of that. But look at old boy running for senator. Who's running for senator?
Who, Jamie? Jamie?
No, Jamie Harrison. I don't know who he's talking about.
Yeah. Isn't Jamie running for? No, what is Jamie running for?
Yeah, Jamie's running against Lindsey Graham, but I don't know if he's talking about Lindsey. If he's talking about Jamie,
but isn't he running for senator, right?
Yeah, he's running. He's running.
Yeah, running for senator.
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about.
But the thing is, right? Hold on. But the thing is, here, Jonathan. Hold on.
That boy got some energy, boy.
Man, got daughter right here. She all over the place. I'm a little boy back here, man. He all over the place. It's almost bedtime. They up around here hanging around with pops. But
yep.
I think when you talk about people infiltrating at a national level, it's about the application of that knowledge, man. That's what I believe down in my heart, But I understand where the brother's coming from, but a lot of these things that are going on in our communities. And when people say things like, they don't care about what goes on in their community, they don't care about black on black crime, they don't care. And, a lot of these things that they're saying, they're only talking points that have been given to them by racists and bigots. That's it. That's it. Yeah, exactly. And then once I saw a stat where I think Candace Owens put it up, talking about 2,000, there's over 2,000 murders in the black community in 2017 or 18 or something like that. But when you break it down to it, that was like way less than 1%. So when you look at the overall population compared to the crime statistics, you will see that not a majority of people are criminals in the black community. A lot of us are hard workers, educated, we go to school, come home, go to work, come home. We strive for better. We want to make a difference in our communities. We don't tolerate the crime. We don't tolerate the foolishness. We band together. See, and so it's about the narrative that people want you to see. It's the narrative. So we got to make sure that we're able to articulate ourselves in a manner that is going to be productive. The one thing that I see is we don't breathe hope into our community. We don't breathe life in our community. I think the Bible said there's power in the tongue. So
Yep.
how we speak is going to either determine whether we succeed, win, lose, draw, whatever. So we got to be able to speak life and power into our community. But if you always on the TV, man, talking about, you know, some statistic that is I would say doom and gloom, then that's the picture you're gonna paint of the black community. And we definitely don't need those type of race hustlers infiltrating our community and our
Yep.
airwaves and our social media.
Yep. And then they get us to do it, so we don't realize the racism. They get the black
Bingo.
face to do it. You know, they get the black face to do it. Because think about it. If a white guy got up on TV and started screaming that, oh, in the black community do this and this, oh man, it'll be, you know, hey, ain't nobody gonna hear that. It'll be, you know, you'll recognize the racism fast. But if they get the black guy, you know, we done got him on the side, they can't say it's racist. You know, so
right.
you know,
right.
And again, all it is a distraction. It doesn't mean, you know, he's not speaking no real facts. All it is a distraction. Nothing he's talking is facts. Just distraction.
Right. Right. And you know one thing I learned, man, especially being in the conservative movement, there's a lot of money for grifting or selling out.
Yo, you there?
I think I lost my. I'm back. I think I'm back.
All right.
There's money to be made by being a shield for the bigots.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of money to be made.
Oh yeah, they'll pay you.
It's a. Huh?
Yeah, they'll pay you. Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll pay you. You be the hero.
Right now. Yeah, right now. See, I made a choice when I was rocking, you know, with Blexit and Bill. I had a choice that I had to make. You know what I'm saying? As much as I love the people that's there and the people in that community, as much as I love and understand where their heart at, I had a decision that I had to make. Either I stand with my community or I potentially chase a check. Bro, I don't need no money. I don't need none of that. Yep. That's why I'm self-made. So I don't need to chase a check. I'm good. I don't have to get up and talk about black on black crime statistics in front of all white audience and talk to them about how racism is dead and how affirmative action needs to be destroyed and how black men need to be fathers in their community and how black mothers are such a high propensity to get abortions because of the Democratic Party. I don't have to stand up and spout those and spew those type of lies to audiences for them to say, you know what, Shakem, we love you. I don't need that. I built what I have now from the ground up. So I don't need that. Whether or not I say, you know what, I think President Trump has certain policies that I like. That doesn't mean that I have to kiss nobody's ass. I can be independent and I can be my own man. And that's what that's what I want a lot of people to understand, whether you Democrat, you Republican. If you say you for your community, well, you need to be your own man. If it ain't right, you don't gotta go down that path. Never be scared to put anybody in check. Never. I don't care what it is. Always be willing to speak the truth at all times. And a lot of times it's the guys, they don't want to lose their audience. They don't want to lose their audience because
that's right. It's politically correct.
Yeah, it's a brother now, Anthony Brian Logan. Bruh, this brother put up a stat talking about black people. We need to be more worried about black on black crime. He get 500 likes, 497 to white people. So I jumped on the post. I said, how is it that all y'all white people saying, oh yeah, amen, black people need to be worrying about the crime in their community? Well, what are y'all doing about the opioid crisis in the white community? What are y'all doing? The methamphetamine crisis in your community? How are you working with law enforcement to clean up your community? Don't act like black people have all the problems and you have problems too. You know, and y'all to be quick to tell us, oh, well, you need to do something about crime in your community. Well, you need to do, what about all these Catholic priests out here molesting little boys? I ain't seen y'all outraged about, why ain't no outrage when a white person, a Catholic molests 30 boys? Why y'all community ain't outraged? Do we need
Exactly. And our kids ain't the one going to school shooting up the damn school neither. Our kids ain't the one going to school making bombs. We ain't doing that. They ain't our kids. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to start pointing the finger, we can do it both ways.
And see, exactly. And that's my problem with a lot of the race hustlers, you know what I'm saying, in the black community, because a lot of them, they won't speak on the topics we talked about. They won't go in front of an all-white crowd and say, you know what, let's talk about the meth crisis in the white community. They go, oh man, what? Nigga, you come up here talking to us about meth in our community? Run his ass up out of there.
Yep. So that's what they say. You know, they bottom. They got the coons, brother. They got, you know what it is. That's I had like I told you, dog, when this thing first happened, and I was sitting back, I was like, look, Keem is the homie. I just want to see what he's going to say now because of what Candace said. And then immediately after that, you denounced him. Like, look, I got nothing to do with that. Like, I don't feel that way. I don't agree. Like, and that's how I say, you was true to self immediately. Yeah. You was true to yourself. You was true to your community immediately. And I was like, yo, I'm a boy. That's what I expected you to do. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what I expected.
For real, man. We can't have people, man, spewing that type of rhetoric and then we support it or be silent, bro. We gotta denounce that, bro. I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't live with myself knowing that I'm riding with somebody. And I said, now we ain't gonna always agree, right? You ain't, and that's the point I'm trying to make. You ain't always gonna agree because me and you always laugh and disagree. So
yeah.
So I'm not saying everybody you disagree with, you're gonna have to denounce. That's not the case. So don't ever think that because there's times where you can disagree and laugh and keep it moving and go drink a beer and hang out and be cool. But there's certain fundamental differences that you see that you're gonna have to say, you know what, I can't afford to stand with this any longer.
Yeah.
And when it gets to that point, you got to understand. You got to understand when it gets to that point. You got to, because you can mess around and damage your credibility messing around with some people who don't have your best interest in mind, don't have the community best interest in mind, and all they're doing is chasing a check. So you got to be ready, man, to get away from that foolishness.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can't see all the comments.
Let's see what Marlon said. Hold on. Let's see. Why can't show his comment? Oh, there you go. We need our own systems. The hell with the systems they put in place for us. We need our. He said we need our own. Well, what kind of system you mean? What?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
Right there.
Let's see. That's what pisses me off. You shouldn't have to explain that you're not like Candace Owens. She should never have been in that position of influence. Bingo. You're right. Some people shouldn't even be in that position of influence in the first place. You know, it's like they choose, and we talk about this all the time. Who made them the leader of the black community? Who made them that? Who?
They made them that. They made them because she can say the shit they want to say without them saying it and being called a race. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And whenever we speak up, whenever something happens and we speak up and address racism, then they can send them in and say, hey, they over there talking that black power stuff again. Remind them of this and this and this. Yep. You get what I'm saying? Like that. I don't even engage in those conversations no more. You know, like Brother Rajon gave the stats, man. It was deep. He said 70% of crime is always 70% of that area. So 70% of crime in a white area is going to be white on white. 70% of crime in a black area is going to be black on black. That's just in any area. Same thing with the Mexicans. But you don't scream that every time a white person kills another white person. We ain't talking about white on white crime. We ain't talking about Mexican crime. The only time you hear this is when it's something done with racism and we're addressing it. Then all of a sudden now you want to talk about this.
Exactly.
You know? Now you want to talk about it. Then after that comes up, of course, now you got to pull a criminal background. It's amazing. They did not pull the criminal background of the Michael boys that killed Arbery. They ain't never pulled their criminal background.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So this is what the brother said. The brother said, what is the black on blind? What is the black on black crime myth that is in the topic? Black on black crime is a real thing.
Black on black.
Let me tell you why. Elvin just basically explained that in his last comment. Because
Yeah.
I mean, we're just reiterating it. It's proximity crime. So of course,
Proximity crime, exactly.
proximity. People stay. Most blacks stay in neighborhoods with blacks. Most whites stay in neighborhoods with whites. So you're going to commit the people who you are around. You're going to basically you interact with them most of the time. So that's where most of the crime is going to be committed. So
Exactly.
it's a real thing. But the myth is that it's just in our community, and that term is only coined and used specifically for black people. That's why you
Yep.
start talking about it's a myth, because that term, now if it was used equally, okay, yeah, but it's not.
You will never hear when we're gonna start talking about white on white crime.
Never.
You know, you're never gonna hear it. When all those, like I said, when all those white kids was getting killed by those white kids in the school, no one used the term. No one was saying it's about time we start talking about white on white crime. It's
Nope.
proximity crime. That's all it is. If you live in a black area around black people, then the crime is going to be done around black people. If you live in a majority white neighborhood, then the crimes are going to be done against white on white. That's just what happens in that neighborhood. Crime is there. But you know, the black on black crime phrase is only used as a distraction point, because now instead of us talking about the injustice or the laws that need to be put in place that protect us from racism, you want to talk about, you know, Billy and T Rock. Well, Billy and T Rock, they dead in jail. You know, you want to talk about Johnny and Will, who killed each other. You know, y'all don't want to talk about that. So, you know, like I said, proximity crime, I don't even address that no more, man. I don't address it. You know, we're going to talk about racism. I'm not going to get off the topic of racism to go down this road with you for distraction points.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's real, man. I think we got to start ignoring a lot of that foolishness too, man.
yeah. Like and Antonio Bright, man, I don't know the brother. I tried to call him one time and rap with him one time. You know, he always gets on. Like I said, a lot of, and I'm not saying him, but a lot of what I stopped doing too, Keem, as I stopped getting them debates with the politically correct. You know, like, and the reason why I say that is because people who always want to say the right things in front of people, you always want to say the right things. But you got to remember, at one time, beating your slave was politically correct.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Beating your wife on Sunday on a church was politically correct. And if you had spoke up against it, you would look foolish to everybody else.
Right.
You know, I want to talk to the real people who have no problem saying, hey, man, look, I don't care if all y'all think that right, that's wrong. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you're going to get shunned when you're speaking out. You're going to get shunned. You're going to get those who going to rock with you and they're going to support you. And you get it just like I get. You get the private inbox all the time. Thank you for saying that. I couldn't say it. We both get that all the time. But I don't really rock with that, man. Like, I'm not going to address politically correct. We're not going to talk about black on black crime. You know, that's not even a real thing. Crime is crime. You won't never hear no Chinese on Chinese crime. You ain't never hear nobody talk about white on white crime. They don't ever want to talk about Mexican crime. The only time they want to talk, it's just like Blue Lives Matter. You only hear Blue Lives Matter when it's black lives that got killed by a cop. Now you want to talk about Blue Lives Matter. You know, but when there's a white person kill a cop, we don't hear Blue Lives Matter no more. Or when the cop is found guilty, there's no more Blue Lives Matter no more. You know, where was the Blue Lives Matter? And then somebody in the credits tell me, remember when the black cop killed the white girl?
I remember Blue Lives Matter.
You remember that? Where was the Blue Lives Matter crew then? Where was the Blue Lives Matter? You know what you know what it was then? They wanted justice for the white girl. They was mad that this cop shot this white girl. She was unarmed. Guess what? I was mad. He shot her too. But I was just as mad if it had been vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Right is right, wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
But you only see these people when it's us. When it's us, now all of a sudden Blue Lives Matter show up. Or, you know, you want to talk. Man, I don't even address some stuff no more, man. Like, I know, we you know, have that.
Right. Jeff said most of the people who bring up black on black crime don't give a crap about black homicide victims in high crime areas. They're only trying to distract from news stories like Ahmaud Arbery.
Yep, like Jeff said.
That's what he just said. It's only rebuttal. Like you said, we could use all lives matter too. That was only rebuttal to Black Lives Matter. You don't hear nobody scream all lives matter 5 days a week, 7 days a week. The only time you hear a person saying all lives matter is when somebody says something about Black Lives Matter or the movement, or about something about, you know, injustice or police community relations. Then they say all lives matter. Other than that, it's only a rebuttal and a talking point used to minimize the impact of the initial subject. That's it.
Yep.
So, yo, man, Jonathan, what you doing? So, you know, man, yeah, I got to put these kids to sleep, man. I got my crew right here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but yo, man, we're gonna continue, man. We're gonna continue to chop it up, and man, we just every day, man. Like I said, we gotta make sure that, you know, we stay on the right path, talking about these issues, trying to change the narrative, and making sure that our communities, man, have the proper representation that they should have. If we don't make sure our communities don't have the proper representation that we need, then we're always going to be in a situation to where we're trying to defend ourselves. We're on the attack, you know, and the status quo has the microphone and picking our leaders for us. So, like the brother Antonio said, we want to be leaders 365 days a week. Support. So, matter of fact, Jeff Charles has a publication called The Red State. Make sure you support the Red State. Jeff Charles. He is on this. He might have been on. He was on. It's called The Red State. He is one of the most realist conservative writers that you will ever meet. Real. This is the type of leadership and thought processes that we need at the forefront of our community. People who gonna keep it real. People who are in touch, not out of touch. People who we can reach out and touch, and all of that. So we got to stay involved. Programs and things that brother said, how do we know who's doing good things? You got to share the videos. You know what I'm saying?
All you gotta do is ask. All you gotta do is ask. All you have to do is ask. Like you know, hey, don't believe the media that there's no one is out here trying to make a difference in our community. Get out here and ask. If you want to know who's making a difference in the communities, go in those communities and ask. They know. That's all it is. You know, we don't get the CNN coverage. We don't get the world news coverage, but we here. We here. We're doing it. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is go ask. Go ask. And that's in any community, man. That's all over Charleston. That's all over. That's all over anyway. Go out there and ask them, hey, man, who out here is putting on the legwork, the footwork? How can I get involved in a grassroots movement out here? They'll be able to tell you.
Right. Most definite. Most definite.
So.
Yeah. But all right, man. I'm gonna sign off, man. I gotta put these children to sleep, man. They up here. That's 11. They up here, man, acting like it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, hey, you know they don't let you have enough time. It's daytime now. You know that.
Yeah. Most definite. Okay, all right, family, man. You take care, man. We're gonna holler.
You know that. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, bet.
All right, peace.